then the next thing that was like a big catalyst for us was utilizing paid ads once we understood our clients. Now, trying to run paid ads when you don't understand the actual niche that you're in is useless. If you can't pull out any pain points in your copy or speak to them on a peer-to-peer level, you're not going to book any meetings. You're just going to look like a noob. And then the next one, which brings me to this point, hiring industry leading consultants and not generalist coaches. This is a huge one. I find that everyone's signing up for every single coach on the planet's general program. And it's like, we're taught so much, niche down, niche down, niche down. But then we go and hire a coach that's not in any specific niche.
Yeah, you're right.
It just doesn't make any sense. So it's like, especially in real estate, like real estate is such a different niche compared to every other niche out there, that like taking someone who does e-com or taking someone who's in, I don't know, Cairo or any other niche, they're not going to experience the same problems that somebody in real estate is, because it's not very common that there's giants like Zillow that have been pushing the concept of leads down people's throats for the past decade. So like, we're not dealing with people. It's like, if you think about your like sales call, like if you go into one of those like generalist coaching programs, everyone has the same script, and it's all like, okay, so like if you don't have a way to automatically bring in new prospects, how are you going to grow your business? If you say that to a real estate agent, they look at you and they're like,
It's almost to the point of disgust. Like if you've been in this game for a while, the shit that people say, like the automated LinkedIn messages that I get and all that shit, I've done it and seen it for like almost a decade now, so it almost makes me want to vomit. Like, and I feel like the realtors feel the same way. You know what I mean?
oh, it's so cringy. It's like, oh, if you're not automating your prospecting, it's like all that same lingo, and it's like,
Can you handle 30 buyers next month? Can you? Like most people can't.
or what's the other one that people are always saying? I'm looking for 5 real estate agents who are looking to
Yeah. I'm looking to take the 5 real estate agents to 100,000 or something like that. Like, or like, I'm looking for X to take them to Y because I'm Z. That's pretty much what it is.
oh yeah, and it's always these like ridiculous numbers where it's like, I'm gonna get, or I'm looking for a realtor who wants 100 pre-qualified appointments in the next 20 days. It's like, nothing
Right.
screams you're new, like not
Yeah.
really understanding that most realtors don't have the budget for that.
Right.
So you're not going to do
Right.
it.
Or the manpower, or underwriting, or a transaction coordinator, or so many other aspects to like make that actually work. Like, only lead generation companies pay their mortgage with leads. The rest of us need deals to close, right, Jade?
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
So if y'all are doing that, just don't be a noob. Like learn
Don't be a
learn your
noob.
audience. And like,
Yeah.
it's not to make fun of people. Like I did that too. We've all done it. So it's like, we're not putting you down if you're doing it.
100%. 100% I did it. Like that's how I started. That's how
But
everybody starts.
yeah, we all like have to learn and be like, okay, I'm gonna put this message out there. Let's see if it converts. I copied it from some other agency owner who's also brand new and has no idea what they're doing. So like, you just have to take the punches. It's part of the deal. But if you're that new, don't run paid ads. That's really what it comes down to. Use those messages that you have that, they're going to strike up conversations with some people. That's fine to do. But then once you start to talk to your audience and you start to understand things, start to change your messaging a little bit to be like, oh, okay, like I want to speak to you more
So,
like you're one of my peers.
so you said that a few times, like run paid ads once you understand your client. Can you give like an example of like what do you mean exactly? Understand them how? Like understand write your copy to mesh or lingo? Like speak to an actual problem? Like can you speak on that briefly?
So the number one thing that you want to do is you want to speak to their specific problems, not just okay, everybody has this problem, everyone wants new customers. Speak to the actual problems that they are encountering. For example, like in real estate, the problem that people have isn't necessarily getting buyer leads. Getting buyer leads isn't the hardest thing in the world to do. Getting qualified buyer leads is. Or what are some of the problems that they have with some of the companies that they've been working with that are generating them buyer leads? If you start to think about it more specifically, your customers are going to read your messaging as like, oh, okay, like, yeah, that is actually a problem that I'm having. What's like a good example? Like if you compare like if you get on a call with Zillow and actually talk to one of their agents and say like, look, I'm a real estate agent. You don't have to impersonate a real estate agent. I did a call with Zillow and I told them I'm a marketing agency and I want to know your guys' program. So you talk to them, you start to learn a little bit more about what Zillow's doing or what other competitors are doing. And then you start to listen to your customers and hear some of those problems that they have with those services. And then start to craft your messaging around that to be like, here's why I'm a little bit different. And you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's no, like, you can literally take the exact same offer, package it ever so slightly different, and still get the same result. And I think that's one thing, people try to get too creative with their offers, where it's like, okay, so if you don't close a deal within 15 days, I'm going to give you all your money back plus a dog, and I'm going to feed all of some small country for a month. Like, it
Right.
doesn't have to be complicated. It's like change little things to just make yourself like slightly a little bit more competitive. And that's really all it comes down to. And sometimes it's just the wording. It doesn't actually mean doing anything
I
different.
mean, like we're still selling bread. It just some people put raisins in it, some people put cinnamon in it, some people put cheese on it, some people put, you know what I mean? But it's still bread, right?
Yeah,
Like you don't have to change the actual thing. Just sprinkle your flavor on it.
exactly. And like, you don't have to finesse it to death. You don't have to turn a piece of bread into a croissant. You can just add some raisins.